Hey, good evening, everybody. We are live in the UK. How are we this evening on a Tuesday evening, on a bitterly cold Tuesday evening? But the sun is shining, and we are very happy because we are joined by the one, the only, the king of Western Swing, Mr. Eric Diamond, everybody. How are we?
I'm doing well. First, I want to clarify one thing. Bob Wills is the king of Western Swing and always will be. But I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be a contributor
Brilliant.
to the cause.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I tell you what, in terms of the king title, it goes around, comes around, but there's many people between myself and yourself who I've all of a sudden realized that actually those circles of connection are starting to come together. Elizabeth, obviously, who is our member who won the charity draw last month and is supporting the Heart and Stroke Foundation. When we contacted you to find out that you were coming on, she says, "Oh, I know Eric Diamond very well." Big connections.
Nice. Yes, sir.
So it's
a small world in the music business, that's for sure.
It is a small world, definitely a small world. So everybody, welcome to tonight's show. We are going to have an absolute fantastic show. I'm going to learn a lot tonight because this is one genre of music that AJ hasn't had a lot to deal with, but actually really excited to learn more. I was brought up with country in my house with my sister and my mum, and I was probably brought up with some, Western country music as well and Western swing, but that's something that, I've got to learn more about. As an artist, and whether you're an indie artist or you are a signed artist, one of your challenges will be that you will have to learn different styles of music. And you'll have to get used to mixing with people from all around the world who go into different genres of music. But at the end of the day, this is something I actually really enjoy. I love finding out about music that isn't necessarily a genre that I've sung or done or, been part of. But you'd be very surprised how much of a connection all the music has with one another. So, I'm a bit excited about tonight. I'm going to learn something new. But in relation to learning something new, One Life has got some great news. We are going live this weekend with our One Life Music School online. So yes, our teachers are all getting together tomorrow night, and we're all going to be putting the final touches on One Life Music Online School together. And we will be advertising for those first 6 students to come and join us online, to come and be taught by some of the industry artists around the indie world, to be able to give you the tools you need to become an indie artist. So we're very excited to bring that out to you this weekend. So, I will be doing one of my top tips during the show today, bought from one of the teachers on the indie artists on the One Life School. But a couple more things just to tell you. In relation to my indie, we do have Gay Skillman's show that we did. We'll be showing live in France on audio on the My Indie show. So looking forward to that, and looking forward to Gabe's show being done in audio. It'll be very different to the live. In relation to My Indie Services, Muriel is online this evening. Welcome, Muriel. I hope you're fine there in sunny France. Probably dark France now because we are now settling down for our evening time, but I hope it's not as cold as what it is in the UK. But welcome, Muriel. Muriel just wanted us to tell us, and I'm going to ask Eric because he's one of Muriel's new clients, that actually, as part of One Life, you're able to get some of that support from web services from Muriel, from My Indie, because she's amazing when it comes to putting you as artists up to the forefront of the music industry, sharing you around the radio stations, sharing you around the podcast stations, and really getting your name out there as an artist. So, I'm proud to have My Indie as my sponsor at One Life, because I've seen some of the artwork that she can do and how she can help artists get their name out into the music industry. So welcome, Muriel. If anybody would like some more information on My Indie services or My Indie Radio, please go on to the One Life or go on to My Indie, and the links are there, and you'll be able to find out the types of services that we put together. So that's absolutely fantastic. In relation to top tips, something exciting to share with you, and I'm sure Eric, me and you are going to talk about this during the show as well. Release day. So AJ is finally releasing a song with the one, the only Bo Hoss. Okay, so me and Bo have been working behind the scenes over the past couple of months to collaborate together to do a song for a female epileptic charity. I won't name them yet because we will be contacting them directly in the UK to basically give them our song for them to use for their charity and to help them donate money to their cause. So I'm not even going to name what the song is yet, but it's release day tomorrow. And basically, that will hopefully be going out on all major platforms. So, you know, when we talk about collaboration, the top tip for me is when I started my journey 5 years ago, it grew because of collaboration. It grew because I met amazing artists like this man here. You know, I found ways in which to connect with the music industry, and that grew me as an artist, but also grew my ability to grow as an artist as well, because I was listening more to other people's music, listening to the way they wrote their songs, listen to the styles of music, you know, learning more about the music industry. I think as artists, whatever stage you're at, you're always going to learn something new when it comes to the music industry, when it comes to songwriting. And I think collaboration, it was the biggest sort of step up in terms of my artist career, because I was able to learn, and I think I learn more every day and I grow more every day. And, you know, coming 5 years down the line where I'm finally getting recognized and going to award shows and things like that, you know, it's a really exciting time for me. But I couldn't do that without collaboration and support from my fellow artists and my fellow, what I call friends, you know, friends and family. I think that's one of the biggest thing in the indie artist industry, is that once you collaborate, you do get a form of friendship, you do get a form of family. So for me, that's my top tip. You know, if you're going to look out into the indie artist music industry, go onto the websites where there are proper renowned sort of indie artists sort of music sites. There's lots out there on the websites. Please be careful with the ones you choose, okay? But where you get the ones where, you know, just look at the numbers, look at the people who follow, look at the types of people who follow, and start talking, you know, start collaborating. So yeah, that's basically the tip of today. There will be other tips on each show, and we'll bring you one each day, okay, just to help you out as an indie artist. So we are going to welcome the one, the only Eric Diamond. There you go, Eric. That was a bit of a start show. Any comments?
No, not really.
No, not really. It's always quite a lot at the beginning of the show. We always have a bit of a gabble on, but we try and keep our audience engaged, and we try and update them. So in relation to collaboration, you must have worked with a lot of people starting at 15 years old, and at the tender age of 35, you know, it's been a long time, hasn't it, Eric?
Yeah, and I'm not at the tender age of 35.
Well, I'm trying to be generous to you, Eric, okay? I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been very lucky to, I kind of just stumbled into it, I guess, at a very young age. I landed my first professional job at the age of 15, and I've been fortunate to work with a lot of amazing people, basically from the beginning until now. My first band leader, I played in a lot of throw together bands in my teenage years. And then in my early 20s, I went on the road with my first traveling band called Cowtown Swing. And the band leader was Bobby Francis, who had worked for John Conley during the rose-colored glasses era. And I was with that band for 5 years. Then I moved to Nashville. And I actually landed a songwriting deal with Ronnie Stoneman from the television show Hee Haw, which was kind of a fluke incident, and it's a long story in itself, so I won't get into that too much. But I never really considered myself a songwriter. I still don't consider myself a songwriter. I've written some songs. This last album has 3 songs on it that I co-wrote with Kurt Ryle, who is one of the greatest songwriters of all time. I believe Kurt's written 18 #1 songs. I know for a fact he wrote a #1 hit for George Jones, and he wrote a lot of songs for Mel Tillis and many others. So I was fortunate to get work with him as a writer, but I don't really consider myself a songwriter. I've been an entertainer this will be my 44th year in April, 44 years. And that's what I consider myself as an entertainer and a singer. Yes, sir.
There's a lot between me and you then, because I wasn't a songwriter right at the beginning. I was an entertainer. I was a wedding singer, and when people asked me to dance on stage, I couldn't dance to save my life. I have 2 left feet. Because, in terms of being an entertainer, I think I've watched your videos, I've watched the way you perform on stage, and, your type of music was also very entertaining as well. It is about making sure that your audience have a really good time. Was you an entertainer when you was a kid? When you was around your family, was you the type of child who'd grow up and want to entertain, want to go downstairs, get out the music, entertain in front of your family? Was you an entertainer as a kid?
I guess I would say I was. I started singing like in the choir and in maybe school programs at the age of 10. And I grew up in a house that had a lot of different music going on with my older sisters and brother and my mother and father. I got exposed to a large variety of music, but my mother was a huge country music fan and a huge fan of Elvis. So I grew up getting all, Patsy Cline, George Jones, Merle Haggard, Marty Robbins, Jim Reeves, the list is huge, Tammy Wynette. My father also he was a big classical music lover, but he also liked country music, and his particular favorite was Jim Reeves. And then, my brothers and sisters listened to everything from, what I'd call easy listening to, pleasant rock and roll, for lack of a better description. And, but country music always was my favorite, touched me. And I just realized, I guess at a young age, that I could sing okay, and thank God other people felt that way. And I got great opportunities at an early age to make money.
What type of early age is from where you were living? So where was you living when you was 15? In the same place?
So I was born in the mountains of northern New Mexico at the base of the Jemez Mountains in a little town called Los Alamos. And when I was about 12 years of age, we started spending part of our year in Colorado and then part of our year in New Mexico. And then shortly thereafter, my father bought land and a property in Colorado, and we would kind of live part of like I said, we'd split the year and live part of the time in Colorado, part of the time in New Mexico. But I truly fell in love with Colorado and made it my permanent home in 1983. And then very recently, actually during the beginning of the COVID, I moved back to New Mexico. I love being here in New Mexico. I don't really want to leave unless the work forces me to relocate. But we have, even though I'm in the mountains here, it's much milder winters than where I was at in Colorado. And as I got older, I prefer a milder winter.
I don't blame you. Keep the milder weather. It looks as though the sunshine's just come out of the UK. Don't worry, it's not the sunshine. It's just my partner coming home from work, and it's all of a sudden got a bit more sunny in behind me. I love these new backdrops. It always makes me feel as though I'm out in the sun. It's just got that warm feeling on the wall. Welcome my partner home. So, Eric, in terms of, going forward, we are here for supporting the Heart and Stroke Foundation with Elizabeth Hertel. Welcome, Elizabeth. I know you're very busy doing photo shoots, God knows where, in LA, today, and also doing some recording and things like that. So she was a very busy lady. She actually wanted to come and onto the show and come and say hi, Eric, you know, because I know you two know each other, you know, through the music industry, and I would like to know a little bit. I see the connection there between the two of you. How did you two meet?
Basically, when we met through social media, and we have a bunch of friends in common.
Ah, okay.
So
Roland, would you say Roland Gillette?
I know a lot of songwriters and other artists in California. Matter of fact, I performed in Sacramento, California, just this previous October, and I was inducted into the Western Swing Hall of Fame there.
I heard that. Bo Hoss told me, was it this afternoon, that you had been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. That must be an honor to be able to be honored in such an amazing thing.
Yeah, that means more to me than anything. Last year was an amazing year for accolades. You know, we in 2023, we had the most played Western Swing album on radio in the world, which got us into People Magazine's People of Country Music edition. We came in the top 10 country albums on the Outlaw Front Porch, coming in at number 10. And then in May of 2024, I received the Heroes of Western Swing Award from Governor Abbott in the state of Texas. I received an award from the Cowtown Society of Western Music and was made a lifetime member of that society. Then in June, I won Entertainer of the Year with a totally different entity. And then October 5th, I was inducted into the Western Swing Hall of Fame, which was something, you know, most of my life, I would have never even thought that was possible. And the vice president of the organization called me and said, the fall of 2023, said, "We're inducting you next year into the Hall of Fame," which, you know, definitely, you know, shocked me. And she said, "The reason we're inducting you is no other Western Swing artist is bringing as much international attention to our genre of music than you are currently." So I thought that was quite an honor. And I tell everybody now I've got something to put on my headstone one of these days.
There you go. Fantastic. Well, do you know what? Congratulations from all of us here at One Life, you know, for your music career, but also for that honourable thing that you've been put into. You know, absolute congratulations. Very, very proud of you. So I'll tell you what, we're going to get some of your music out, because what we're going to do next is we're going to get some of the videos from our Heart and Stroke Foundation onto the show, so we can have one or two stories in relation to some of the families who have been affected by heart and stroke conditions, so we can start getting some support out there from our people who are watching the show this evening. So while I sort out the video of the family who are going to talk about their experience of heart and stroke this evening, we are going to play your music, and we are going to play Oklahoma Bound, because I'll tell you what, that actually got my foot tapping today. I really enjoyed that song. So tell us a bit about Oklahoma Bound and how it come about, who wrote it, what it's about, and then I'll sort it out for you.
You bet. So Kurt Ryle and I wrote that song. It was the first song we ever wrote together. And we actually wrote this song in 15 minutes. But we sat down in his studio, and he said, "I really want to write a song about Oklahoma." And we came up with the title. And it was crazy because he would write a line, I would write a line. He would write a line, I would write. Literally, that's how it happened. We just went back and forth. We had this song written in under 15 minutes.
Wow.
Boy, the response has been phenomenal. It's been one of our songs that's really helped us bridge the gap with generations. The young people really love this song, and the old guard and the old diehard, they accept it and love it as well. So it's been a great song for us and a true blessing, and very proud of it. My management team put together the video for this. I thought they did a fantastic job. If it's the video, I'm thinking and hoping it is.
Well, it's not the video, it's the audio, but in terms of Oklahoma Bound, please listen to it, because it's an absolute great song. We're going to listen to it now, And then we're going to go on to our charity of the month, Heart and Stroke. Okay, so Oklahoma Bound, here it comes.
I spent a year one night in New York City. I tried to find a girl to dance with me, but I couldn't find a bar with country music. So I headed down to Nashville, Tennessee. I spent a lot of time down on Broadway. The music from those bars was country gold. The girls there were fine, but not the Tulsa kind. Oklahoma's calling me home. I'm Oklahoma bound, where Bob Wills music can be found, where two-step is the thing, they still love their western swing. I'm Oklahoma bound. The ladies there still love the dancing cowboy. At closing time they're up for having fun. If you want to stand a chance, you best know how to dance. I'm a rug-cutting son of a gun. I'm Oklahoma bound, where Bob Wills music can be found, where two-step is the thing, they still love their western swing. I'm Oklahoma bound. I'm Oklahoma bound, where Bob Wills music can be found, where two-step is the thing, they still love their western swing. I'm Oklahoma bound. I'm Oklahoma bound.
Oklahoma Bound, everybody. It must be lots of fun on a live gig with Eric Diamond.
Well, that's the thing, you know, Western swing was based upon dance. To me, it's the best dance music there is. And just like yourself over there weaving and bobbing, it's hard to sit still to Western swing.
It is.
When you see people that get exposed to it for the first time, you know, their heads are bobbing, their feet are tapping. And of course, it was all built around a huge dance culture. So we perform at these large dance festivals where, you know, the dance floors are as big as a hockey rink, and
Wow.
There'll be just hundreds of people dancing. It's an infectious music for sure. And
Brilliant. And I think we need more of it.
You were talking earlier about dancing. I tell people this, but I dance 20 times better than I sing. I've been a competition dancer since I was 15 as well, and I dance all the time. Matter of fact, March is now the kickoff for dance season, and I'll be both singing and dancing at festivals from now all the way until November.
Fantastic. Eric, I'm sorry. I've been put off by one thing in your sitting room. Are they real reindeers?
Those are real deer, yeah.
They're real reindeer. Are they ones that you've managed to catch, or?
Yes, sir. So most of my people ask me, what did you do for a living most of your life? And I tell people, most of my life, I made a living singing and fishing. I was a fishing guide for 34 years. I also guided deer, elk, and bear hunters for 13 to 15 years. I went 23 years consecutive without buying any meat from the grocery store.
Wow.
I raised 2 children in a family on deer meat, elk meat, the occasional antelope, the occasional black bear, and other game species. Yeah. And we always caught plenty of fish. I mean,
they're big up there. Look at the size of them. They're
Oh
huge.
yeah, and the big
Anyway,
ones are
sorry,
on-
I had to ask. I had to ask because they're absolutely huge. Anyway, let's get off the reindeer because it's making me sad because I don't think I'm going to get a Christmas present because I'm sure you've got Rudolph above your head. So I don't think I'll get a Christmas present this year. So anyway, let's get on to our charity. Let's get on to Heart and Stroke. Let's get serious. And after this video, we'll be asking our guest in relation to the charities that he supports and he's supported in his music journey. Okay, so let's bring the Heart and Stroke Foundation in. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's only 2 minutes long. It's basically a mother and daughter who have both shared the same condition in relation to Sophie and Mia share a congenital heart disorder, and it's about their story and in their lives as a family. Okay.
My name is Sophie, I'm 38 years old, and this is my daughter Mia, who's 7 years old. We were both born with a congenital heart disease. My condition was discovered when I was a few months old. It's actually my grandmother who discovered it. She thought my heart was beating very fast. She advised my mom to go to the hospital and get my heart checked. I had my surgery at the age of 3. I was refrained from doing any physical activity or any sports because they thought it might affect my heart. I learned about myself that I was way stronger than I thought, and this strength that I found within me allowed me to overcome every obstacle. When we discovered Mia's condition at my 20 weeks ultrasound, doctors were helping us. We were not left on our own, and I can say that it's a big improvement from when I was a kid because my parents didn't know exactly how to help congenital heart disease. Based on my experience, I would like Mia to know that she has an incredible strength within her and there's nothing she can do. I would like the people who don't know about congenital heart disease to know that, first of all, it's a very common condition. 1 kid out of 100 is born with a heart disease. You can still have a happy life and you can still be active and you can still have the life you want. My message to other parents who have a child with congenital heart disease is, first of all, trust the journey, trust yourself. You're stronger than you think, and not only you, but your kid is way stronger than you think. They were born to fight, and they will conquer. They will overcome every obstacle in the way.
Ma cicatrice fait de moi une personne spéciale parce que j'ai des pouvoirs magiques. Mes pouvoirs magiques sont que rien ne peut m'arrêter et je n'ai peur de rien.
Okay, that's a special one for Muriel, our sponsor this evening, who is from France. In relation to any of the things that are brought up in today's show, I know some of those things can be quite heartbreaking or can be quite saddened, but what we want you to do is to be able to recognise that that support is out there for you as families, as friends, and there's also those people who go through the different types of conditions that we support with One Life Association. So tonight, when you go home, please open up the web pages for Heart and Stroke, go to the Facebook sites, and if you want to donate, please donate. But I think one thing that we want you to do is basically follow, any advice that they give, any support that they give, and spread the word. And the more people who get to know about these amazing charities, the more it will be able to save a family member, support a family member, help a family member, and know that they're there to be supported. Okay, so Elizabeth Tell, I know that you were putting this forward because you recently had family members who are affected by heart conditions. We're there for you, Elizabeth, if you want to speak to any of us in terms of your friends, in terms of the music world. Okay, we're all there for you, and then also any families out there, we're all there for you as well. So please give generously, give support generously. Thank you very much for listening to the video. So, Eric, in relation to Heart and Stroke, has there ever been anything which has affected your family?
Well, not in relation to heart and stroke, but I did lose 5 family members, 2 parents, 2 sisters, and a brother, all to cancer.
Sorry. You okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. Yeah,
Good. And I think one of the things that the reason why One Life is brought together is because of the many diseases, the many famines, the many wars that are ever's going around. I think one thing that we do so well as music artists is we always, remember the power that we've got in our voices, in our instruments, in our dance moves, to be able to raise a penny or two for a charity. And I think, the more that we do it, the more these organizations get the support from us music artists to, and I think for me, I love doing it. I've been doing this journey for the last 5-6 years, and, probably doing it as a kid with not really knowing about it, not noticing it, going into my choirs and things like that. Raising some money for a local children's charity, things like that. It's always given me a pleasure and a joy, so for yourself, you've been around since you was 15 years old. You must have done so many festivals, been asked to join in collaborations for so many different charities. But is there anything that what sticks out in your mind, things that you've done?
Well, and some of this wasn't even music related, but I've, over the years, I've done a lot with the Special Olympics. I've done a lot for cancer charities, and I'm always doing something for benefits. Recently, in the last several years, we lost a legend, Bobby Flores, who was not an incredible singer, incredible fiddle player, but also an instructor. And he was key in bringing a lot of young kids along in this genre of music. So I donated a huge set of Texas Longhorns for his benefit. Landon Dodd, who's another just tremendous performer and a star in his own right. His wife was struggling with cancer last year, and I donated a guitar that had been signed by just about everybody you could imagine in the world of Western swing. This guitar didn't have room for another signature on it. Front, back, side, everywhere. And so I try to do those sort of things a lot. And now I've kind of gotten where I like to get a guitar or another musical instrument and take it around with me as I travel and get all these, big headliners and all the musicians in the genre of Western swing. And then I'll donate that to some benefits, to some cause to help someone out. Yes.
Fantastic. Well, last month it would have been absolutely fantastic. We had the Guitars for Vets on, so Jason Walsh, that was his charity. So we had Guitars for Vets last month, and we were giving guitars to the Guitars for Vets. We managed to give probably about 5 guitars in the end, which was absolutely fantastic to our veterans over there, who were in the forces, and obviously raised some money for them as well. So, thank you for everything you do, Eric. And everyone who comes onto the show, you each have your own story to tell when it comes to the music industry and how it influences local and national charities. And you all do an amazing thing. And I'm pleased to have you as part of the One Life family. And I'm pleased to be part of supporting and working with you all and helping you all raise awareness for your charities, raise awareness for the charities that you're working with. So thank you, Eric, for what you do. Absolutely amazing. Thank you. In relation to 2024, you mentioned some of the awards already. In relation to gigs and festivals, we are very early in 2025 at the moment. We're just planning 2025. But from last year in 2024, was there any special sort of festivals or gigs or anything that stuck out in your mind that you was really happy to do, and sort of you think that, I'm like that. I would do something one year and I think, that's something I'm never going to do again, but that was amazing and I hope I can do it in 2025. But it stuck out in my mind so much. Was there anything like that for you last year?
Honestly, I love all the performances we do. Years ago, I played what was called the A-Room Circuit, which was the biggest country music bars in North America. We worked an 11-state region, and in 6 years, we only had 3 weeks off. We went town to town, state to state. We'd go out and play for 5 to 9 weeks on the road. Then we'd come home and play 2 weeks and then back out again. And we repeated that for 6 years. The band based out of Southern Colorado. I had a little horse farm facility where I could house 5 or 6 guys. So I would bring in musicians from all over the country. We would all live together, and then we would travel. We had 13 national agents booking us. The last 15 years, I've primarily been doing, private parties, corporate parties, fairs, rodeos, special events. I'm highly involved with the Western Swing Society of the Southwest. We do 5 festivals a year. I love them all. They're all well attended. They're big dance crowds. I've always I played the bars for years, right? So I'm pretty comfortable in a bar scene. But with these festivals, it's a different kind of show, which I love very much. And our music was, like I said, Western Swing was created for dancing. It was born in the plains of West Texas, the farming and ranching and agricultural. And they would have barn dances every weekend, and the musicians would bring their instruments. And that's where it all began with Bob Wills. And it's still thriving and popular today. And as I told you earlier off the air, Western Swing has always come and gone in cycles. But right now, our timing is very fortunate. Western Swing is climbing the peak. It's popular all over Europe, all over the world. And it's having another big run here in the United States. Matter of fact, a gentleman named Mike Marquardt did a documentary, much like the Ken Burns documentary on the history of Western Swing. It's already won awards in London, Paris, and around the globe. Wow. I've seen it 7 times now, but it will be aired on PBS. It will be aired on the Cowboy Channel, RFD TV, and others. And it explains the history from the very beginning up until today, and the artists that are carrying the torch today. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to carry the torch. We're going to have a One Life Challenge. We do a One Life Challenge every single program. So my One Life Challenge is I'm going to put a Western Swing video up after the show this evening, and I'm going to introduce people into Western Swing, including myself, okay? So we're going to find a clip, me and Eric, to put on our YouTube connection video after tonight's show, so we can get more people involved in Western Swing. So if it's as big as what it is, please put a comment on it after the show this evening. Please tell us if you are one of the new Western Swing bands across Europe or across the UK or across America. Tell us a bit more about Western Swing and how you got into it in relation to the style of music itself. And I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing your videos, your pictures, your songs, and also having a little bit of a history lesson to Western Swing after the show this evening. So that's my One Life Challenge to myself. Learn a bit more about Western Swing, and I'm sure after listening to Eric Diamond's music today, I'm going to enjoy it just as much as I am his music. So this evening we are going to bring his next song, which is called Waylon, Willie and Hogarth. We're going to put that on now, and you're going to tell us a little bit about it before we put the song on.
So the song is called Waylon, Willie, Haggard and Jones, and it's a up-tempo waltz. Kurt Ryle, when we were in the studio putting this album together, he said, Eric, I think you need to have a waltz on your album. And I was actually not crazy about the idea. But after I heard the finished product, I was so glad. And what this song is not really Western Swing. This is more along the lines of traditional country, but which is great because it's been received extremely well in Nashville, and by all country music enthusiasts. So it's helped us bridge the gap and bring people into our genre of Western Swing. And of course, it pays homage to 4 of the greatest: Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson, and George Jones. The music, this song has been received extremely well everywhere, and it's been super beneficial. So I'm glad Kurt talked me into putting this on the album.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to play it for you now, and then we're going to be talking albums because you've got a new release. So I'm going to play this one next, and then we're going to find out about your new releases. Here we go.
Waylon and Willie, Haggard and Jones, lays on the jukebox all night long. Our pockets are empty from playing those songs. Waylon and Willie, Haggard and Jones. A good-hearted woman left me walking the floor. I spend my nights behind swinging doors. She left my blue eyes crying in the rain. I play A11, he stopped loving her today. Waylon and Willie, Haggard and Jones, plays on the jukebox all night long. Our pockets are empty for playing those songs. Waylon and Willie, Haggard and Jones. I still love Amanda, light of my life. She left me in darkness instead of blue skies. I still hear the engines from those silver wings. I'll give you the grand tour with 2 golden rings. Waylon and Willie, Haggard and Jones, plays on the jukebox all night long. Our pockets are empty from playing those songs. Waylon and Willie, Haggard and Jones. Waylon and Willie, Haggard and Jones.
On a Tuesday evening. Thank you very much for bringing me cheery music on a Tuesday afternoon.
So, Adrian, if I may,
yeah,
I'd like to differentiate and explain and tell you and the listening audience a little bit about Western swing. So,
let's
Western
go for it.
Music,
go on and.
The difference between Western swing and country music, Western swing is all jazz chording. It's Bob Wills.
Okay.
Took Texas fiddle music, blended it with jazz. Like I said, it's all jazz chording. It was heavily influenced by the blues. It has a lot of Cajun music influence and even mariachi music from south of the border in Mexico. And they blended it all into this wonderful form of music that is truly infectious and wonderful to dance to. And so for several years, I didn't even really know the difference. I just knew every time a Western swing tune came on, I was like, man, this is really good country music. You know, I don't know. I just knew I loved it, right? And then a state champion fiddle player that was with a major label named Jeff Johnson, who was opening for people like Merle Haggard, Gene Watson, people of that caliber. Jeff took me under his wing when I was probably a late teenager, 19, 20, and educated me on the difference. But I've been singing San Antonio Rose on stage since I was 15, which is probably the biggest classic Western swing tune of all times. They say that song is what took Bob Wills off hamburger and put him on steak. And so it's its own genre of music, and it's a true American art form that was a melting pot of all these other influences put into one style of music. And as far as I know, it's the only music that really does that. So many influences and just phenomenal. And you'll find typically the best musicians are in Western swing, because chording is much more difficult than, say, straightforward country music. Now, I've done a bit of everything. When I was young, I did Western music, more along the lines of Sons of the Pioneers, things of that nature, Tumbling Tumbleweeds, Cool, Cool Water, Streets of Laredo. Then I did, Western swing and traditional country. Matter of fact, the bulk of my career, I probably did traditional country more than anything. But the last 16 years, I've done nothing but Western swing music, really, or at least 95% Western swing.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Eric. You've cheered your PR manager up, because actually going ahead and supporting you as your new PR manager, she's now learned what Western swing is this evening, and she's actually taken it on board. So she's giving you a big thumbs up in relation to your music. Using the words dope music. I don't know if that's a word that you know, but it's basically said it is dope music, amazing music. Actually, I agree with you. It's tapping feet music. And if I was over where you are now, I'll be dancing along with you, and I'm sure I'll be having an absolutely amazing fun time. But in relation to a fun time, you've been out and doing a new album. You've got a new album out called All of Me. How's that been going? Is it released yet? Can we find it?
Yes. So a couple things. The All of Me album was the album that was the most played album on Western swing album on radio in the world in 2023 and carrying into 2024. It was up for Album of the Year with 4 different organizations. It was a finalist, a top 5 finalist with the IWMA, which is the International Western Music Association. It was a finalist for Album of the Year with the ISSA, which is the International Singer-Songwriter Association. It was a finalist for Album of the Year with the Red Carpet Awards in the Netherlands. And it was also up for Album of the Year with the Ameripolitans. I haven't received a recent update, but the last update I did receive, we are on 25,000 radio stations around the globe.
Wow. Well done.
Also, the title track, All of Me, was Song of the Year with the Indie Alliance chart. And it's done extremely well with other organizations. So the album's great. We will have a website, should be up and running any day now, where the album's available. But we've sold a lot of albums on Facebook. If anybody's interested, you can get a hold of me on Facebook. We have the They Call Me a Playboy album, and we also have the All of Me album.
I love the fact that you over in America are still using CDs and the hard copies. It just looks so much better on a record. It really does, than a digistore. The picture on your local Amazon Alexa doesn't look as good as a CD. Every time people are showing these, I'm like jealous. Next song that I bring out, I tell you what, Bo, if you are listening, when we release our song, can we please have a CD copy? Because it would just look so much better in my hand.
Now, just like everybody else, we sell a lot of downloads, but we sell so many physical copies. As a matter of fact, I've talked to so many industry people that are shocked at the amount of CDs we've sold. My original album, we've sold over 13,000 units. And the new album, we've sold $15,000 worth in 15 months. So our audience, thank God, because that keeps us, down the road. But our audience, the majority of our audience still buys physical CDs. And I'm so thankful for that.
Keep physical CDs alive, everybody. Whether you're in America, Canada, UK, please keep CDs alive, because our music industry, especially in the industry, when it comes to indie artists, we're burning when it comes to streaming. We don't get hardly anything. So please keep those merchandise, those CDs, those t-shirts, those mugs, whichever you're buying for the merchandise store. Please keep supporting these artists. How we make our mainstream money, and it's how we keep our recording studios going. Anyway, I've just learned that this young man is, basically raking it in when it comes to CD sales. So we're going to have some of his money out of his pocket this evening for the Heart and Stroke Foundation. And we are going to play along our game before we go. So we've got our quiz of the evening. So we were talking off air between me and Eric. And basically when we were talking about Western Swing, it isn't country. And we've learned a lot this evening about Western Swing and about the history of Western Swing and the connection to country music. And it is a completely different style, and we are going to be learning a lot more after the show. But we are going to bring you a country quiz this evening, because actually even YouTube doesn't know what Western Swing is when we come to quizzes, and it basically didn't give us that option. So we are coming into a country quiz this evening. The rules of the game are the same as they were last month. Basically, it is $2 per question that you get wrong, and if you get one wrong, that goes into the Heart and Stroke Foundation. Please play along out on Facebook, on YouTube and X. If you are able to beat our specialist on our show, then you are safe. If you get a lower score than our specialist on our show, you're not safe. Get your money out, go onto the websites, and make sure you do donate to Heart and Stroke Foundation. Those links will be put on this evening's show. And please be honest, put a comment on how well you've done. Muriel loves playing this game, so I'm sure that she will put her score and her answers on, okay? So I'm just going to go behind the scenes, Eric, okay? So I am on your screen, but you won't see me because I am actually going behind the scenes to do the quiz, okay? So we have got 10 awesome quiz questions, and basically it's going to be going like this evening. Okay, first things first, can you hear the music?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Okay, so it's guess the song. You've got 10 seconds to guess the song. Some of them are easy, some of them are hard, but I'm sure you're going to get everyone right this evening, okay? Here we go.
See.
Good luck.
Your beauty is beyond compare,
Jolene.
with flaming locks of
Dolly
auburn
Parton.
hair. With
Jolene Dolly Parton. That's an easy one to start off with. Everyone's got that one, I hope, this evening.
Jolene, Jolene, Jolene,
Same song.
Jolene.
I keep you on my mind both day and
Johnny
night.
Cash, I Walk the Line.
Oh, look at this. A master of country, of course. We wouldn't think of anything different, especially being a Hall of Famer.
Because you're mine, I walk the line.
Number 3.
Think that I'm talking foolish.
Randy Travis, I'm Gonna Love You Forever.
God, look at this. Eric Diamond is flying this evening. Let's see if he's right. There you go, Randy Travis.
If you love him, you'll forgive him.
Stand By Your Man, Tammy Wynette.
Wow, look at this. We're going number 4, Stand By Your Man.
I'd smoke my brain the night before on cigarettes and...
Chris Christopherson.
What's the song?
Is that Sunday
The
morning?
Sunday morning sidewalk.
Yes.
Did you say Sunday morning coming down, or did you just say
Absolutely.
Chris Christopherson?
Well, I
Did
said
you say both?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll give you that one. He's good. Eric Diamond is good.
Man get to be this way.
Charlie Pride, You've Got to Kiss an Angel Good Morning.
Here's
There
an
you
angel
are,
good
it's Charlie
morning.
Pride.
And let her know you think for a morning.
Garth Brooks, The Dance.
What's the song? The Dance. It is Garth Brooks, The Dance.
The day. The life I love is making music with my
Willie
friends.
Nelson.
I can't
Oh, look at that. Muriel, I'll tell you what, I hope you've got some of these right this evening.
road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. You'd love me
as long as
Patsy
you
Cline,
want.
Crazy.
Oh, we are flying this evening.
I'm crazy for trying and crazy.
Crickets are singing and lightning bugs are floating on the breeze.
The Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, you and me going fishing in the dark.
Wow. Okay, Elizabeth, I'll tell you what, we have found our king of country. You are the first person to come onto the show and basically answer all 10 correct in such quick record time as well. Congratulations, that's amazing knowledge and how you've done it. I need you. I need you on the, you know, that's quiz when you do the music quiz and like you get paid like £1,000 for each question you get right. It goes right to the top for £1 million. I need you in my corner. That would be amazing. You are knowledgeable.
So let me tell you something, Adrian. I have a friend named Czech Rippey who played fiddle on the Grand Ole Opry, and he was a sideman for a major label act. Czech and I have been friends since I was in my 20s. He tells me I'm the human jukebox. But when I was out on the road, when I was playing in my 20s, and then I was on the road extensively in my 30s, I could do 380 songs off the top of my head, sing them.
Wow.
And
excellent.
Even today, I can still do over 100 songs off the top of my head. And it doesn't, it's funny because I'll go to these festivals because, you know, I've done the same, you know, 80 songs or whatever in my shows for the last 15 years. But I'll hear these other bands doing songs and I'll go, man, I used to do that one. And it's amazing how quick they come back to me, you know. Matter of fact, I'll hear someone else doing a song that I used to do 30 years ago and I'll be like, man, I need to relearn that one, you know, because it's such a great song. But I literally, at one point, could do 380 off the top of my head. And I enjoyed your little thing there because that was good. I was good.
That was good. I was impressed. That was really good. Well, I tell you what, you know, please, whoever's joined in this evening, please give generously to the Heart and Stroke Foundation. Like I said to you, please, either financially or sharing the word of the Heart and Stroke Foundation and the support that they give. So, you know, this evening we didn't manage to get anything from our artists, but I'm sure Elizabeth is waiting in the wings to actually have a quiet word in this young man's ear and sort of say to him, come on, you know, if we were friends on Facebook, you know, come and give me some support. You were too good. Anyway, it's been a real pleasure. We're coming up towards the end of the show, unfortunately, in relation to spending time with Eric Diamond. But just to let you know that I'm not going to let this man go. I'm going to learn more about Western Swing. We are going to do some more discussions with Eric Diamond in the next 6 months. We're going to get him back on the show. And by then, my knowledge will be a bit better of Western Swing. And I will know a lot more. And so will Muriel, his PR manager. I would hope being the PR manager, you would have learned a bit more, Muriel, than me. Perhaps we can learn together. Perhaps we'll do a bit of sort of revision together. Just give Eric a bit more support when it comes to Western Swing. But it's been a real pleasure. Your music's been absolutely fantastic. I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed your music journey. And it's been a real pleasure knowing how much support you give to local and national charities, you know, in your music career. So I want, from the bottom of my heart, Eric, it's been an absolutely fantastic night and I've really enjoyed myself. Is there anybody out there that you want to say a special thank you to in terms of supporting you in your music career?
Well, I'd like to say thank you to you for having me on the show. Thanks to Muriel.
You're welcome.
She's a true professional and an honest person, and that's a gem to find in this business anymore. I'd like to give thanks to all the musicians that I've gotten to work with my entire life, and especially over the last 15 years with the Western Swing Society of the Southwest. They've embraced me. They've been supportive. They've been life-changing for me. The one thing I'd like to leave with, Adrian, is I suggest everyone go to YouTube, Google, whatever, ask Siri. But there's so many documentaries about the history of Western Swing that explains the music far better than I can. If you're a jazz enthusiast, if you're a dancer, if you like country music, I suggest you dive into this genre a little bit more. I think most
Definitely.
people love the songs and don't even realize they've been listening to Western Swing for years. So
Definitely. So there's our homework, Muriel. We're going to set ourselves some homework.
yeah, thanks very much for this opportunity. I greatly appreciate it. I'm excited. If anybody's going to be in the Texas area, we are performing March 20th, 21st, and 22nd in Wichita Falls, Texas, with the Western Swing Society of the Southwest. You can go to their website, find out all about it. Come see us, come dance with us.
Fantastic. If I was over there, I'd be dancing my night away. Okay, so tomorrow night, everybody, we have actress and singer-songwriter Lisa Stewart, all the way from Tennessee, coming on the show tomorrow. So we welcome Lisa the way we welcomed Eric. Eric, have an absolutely fantastic. We are going to have a good night over here in the UK, and I hope you have a good night over there in Canada. Okay, look after the reindeer for me, especially the one in the middle whose name's Rudolph. I've already named him.
I'm not in Canada. I'm not in Canada.
Oh, no, you're not in Canada. No, you're not, are you?
I'm living in the Rocky Mountains of northern New Mexico.
There, you never know, Rocky Mountains. Whatever. Just look after Rudolph for me, okay, Eric?
Yes, sir.
Take good care of yourself. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Take good care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.